What's up, team? I'm Mr. Hayhurst, and this is Superdojo. And this month, we're gonna be working on single stick training. This is gonna be awesome! Who are we?
Superdojo athletes.
What do we do?
Always try our best
How do we do it?
with a positive attitude.
Why? Because
We are champions.
when you fight with a stick, footwork is so important. For this training, we're gonna use an 8-count footwork star. And that's something we're gonna use to keep track of all of the different footwork drills that we're gonna do. It also matches up with the strikes that we're gonna do if we take that star and imagine it right in front of us. Okay, let's make the star on the ground. You guys make it at your home dojo, and I'll make it here at Superdojo. This is what our star looks like. First, we have a plus sign and then an X in the middle of it. Now we're gonna number each one of these points of the star so we know which direction we're supposed to step on each footwork drill that we do. Okay, so if we're standing on this side, you see that 0 is right in the middle. And then if we go straight up, that's number 8. And we go around, this one's number 1, 3, 5, 7, 6, 4, 2. That is gonna sound so crazy, but the whole point of this is that we wanna make sure that the strikes actually line up with the footwork drills. So you will see how this works in a little bit. It doesn't have to be like a clock. It's just gonna be a way for us to keep track of which way your feet go and which type of strikes you're gonna do. Team, here's another way to look at it. So we have this giant star on the board like this, and you'll see how it goes. 1 is on this side, and then it goes in a circle. So we have 1, 3, 5, 7, 6, 4, 2, 8. It kind of sounds like one of our tornado kids counting backwards from 10 when they're stretching, but it's totally going to make sense when we do the strikes, especially when you watch the next video all about footwork, okay? So put this star on your floor and make sure that there's a 0 in the middle too. In the description is an interesting video showing you some basic footwork combos so you can be an unpredictable and unstoppable stick sparring warrior. Okay, team, we're gonna start working on some of the most basic strikes. And with these basic strikes, I don't want you guys to complicate it with adding the footwork yet. I want you guys to focus on just doing these strikes, learning how to twist your arm and strike to the right targets first. And in the video we're gonna post next week, that one we're gonna add the footwork into it and a couple little details too. But let's get the memorization, let's understand the basic strikes and start training together. Okay, the first thing we have to know is how to grip your stick. When you're holding your stick, grab it at the top by the handle here so that there's some room at the bottom. If you had a wooden stick, you would want to have between 2 fingers and a whole fist length. But with these special Action Flex padded sticks, hold it at the top just like this. When you grip it, squeeze your fingers tight and lock your thumb to the top. But you may see some athletes pointing their thumb like this too. That isn't wrong, but sometimes the application calls for a tight grip, and sometimes the application calls for your thumb to be up. For all of these strikes, let's squeeze our grip tight just like this. Team, there are 3 ways to hit. The first one is called a broken strike. With a broken strike, you have a loaded position where your stick starts. You hit the target and then put it right back to that loaded position again. Now this could be at any of those angles, just like on the star when we saw the 8, the 7, the 6 from all over the place. That number is where your strike will start and the direction that it's gonna go. So our broken strikes are gonna start in a loaded position, hit the target, and then go back to the loaded position. So if we ever ask you, what does a broken strike do? It means you start in a loaded position, you hit the target, and then you bring it back to your loaded position again. Broken strikes. The next type of strike or way to hit is called a fluid strike. And when you guys do a fluid strike, it starts in your loaded position. It hits the target and it goes through to an opposite loaded position. So if we take that first strike, the number one angle, and we hit the target, the side of the head, the temple, we would follow through and flip our hand over at the end to put it on the other side of our body, from shoulder to your temple to my hip. And the last type of strike or way to hit is called the reverse strike. When you do a reverse strike, it's when you instantly bring that stick back to the original loaded position and strike in a reverse motion. So, if you guys remember the strike that we just did a second ago, we started on our shoulder, we did a number one strike, and we went to our opposite hip. Well, that reverse strike, we'll bring it right back up in a reverse way. Now, anytime you do a reverse strike, you keep your hand in the same position that it was in when you flipped it. You hit the new target and flip your hand over once we're done. In the next video we post next week, we're gonna talk a lot about how your hand should be turned when you strike. Because if you turn your hand the wrong way and you hit a target really hard, then what's possible is that your stick will pop right out of your hand. Okay, let's get serious. So, we're gonna be practicing 6 different angles when we do these basic strikes that we're gonna be working on in the month of June. Now, of course, there is an infinite amount of combos and strikes that we can do, but let's keep it simple. Let's practice these basics. I want you to know these 3 combos, and inside these 3 combos, you've got 6 different angles and 3 ways to hit. You guys are gonna become unstoppable. Okay, so first combo goes like this. I want you to hold your stick in your right hand. Put your right foot in front of you. And of course, we've been practicing kickboxing for so long, we put our strong side in the back. But when we're holding a weapon, most of the time, we put the side that's holding the weapon in the front. So right hand holding the stick and right leg in the front. Point your toes right at your target. So you would point your toes right at me or your mom or dad or your training partner. Start with your stick on your shoulder. This is our loaded position number 1, or the shoulder loaded position. We're gonna strike out and aim to the side of someone's head, and we're gonna say temple. The first strike we do in the combo is that number 1 angle, but we do it as a broken strike, so we bring it right back down. Let's just do it 3 times. Start on your right shoulder, do a broken strike. Notice that I can see my fingernails when I do this strike, and then bring it right back to your shoulder. So it's a broken strike. Okay, let's do the combo now. After we do one of the broken strikes at the number 1 angle, the next thing is gonna be the fluid strike. So we have the broken strike, then the fluid strike, just like this. Now, as soon as I hit the target, I don't bring it back on the fluid strike. I would go hitting the target, and then I flip my hand over to bring it to my hip. So the things that we're gonna say when we do the fluid strike is shoulder, temple. Remember, your temple is the place you're gonna hit on your opponent, then hip. The last strike we're gonna do is the reverse strike. It starts on your hip, your palm is facing down, or we are able to check our watch. We bring that strike up just like this, and we hit that target. I can still see my watch. And we're gonna say knee, because we're hitting someone in the knee. Then we flip our hand over and bring it right to our shoulder. Every time you bring it back to your loaded position, I want you to imagine you're just checking to make sure nobody's sneaking up behind you. So combo number 1 is gonna be broken strike, 1. That's the number 1 angle. Fluid strike, 1 again. And this angle is actually the other side of the body, and if you check that chart with all of the arrows and the footwork drills, this is gonna be angle number 6. 1 broken, 1 fluid, 6 reverse. Broken, fluid, reverse. Now practice that combo and really make sure that you've got it memorized. Okay, one more time. The combo is going to be shoulder, temple, shoulder. Shoulder, temple, hip. Hip, knee, shoulder. Okay, team, now that you understand broken strikes, fluid strikes, and reverse strikes, when we do these next two combos, combos 2 and 3, you're gonna go so much faster. So check this out. Combo number 2 is gonna start not on your shoulder, but on your arm, the side loaded position. Because our strike is gonna be that number 3 angle. If you check that star and you see, this is where we load up for strike number 3. You're gonna say arm, elbow, because you're hitting the person in their elbow or their ribs. And you know how bad it is to get your elbow hit right on the funny bone or get hit on the ribs. We're gonna go arm, elbow, and since it's a broken strike, we're gonna go back to the arm. The next part is gonna be the fluid strike. So we go arm, elbow, other arm, or underneath your arm, just like this, so to your side. And the last part is going to be the reverse. So we start right here on the side load position and we say arm because it's near my armpit. We're gonna say elbow, and then right after you hit your opponent's elbow or aim at it, you're gonna flip your arm over and finish that strike right next to your original arm. So let's practice the words. Let's practice this combo a couple more times. We start on our arm. We say arm, elbow, arm. Now we start the next part of the combo. Arm, elbow, other arm, or other side load position. Then we're gonna go arm, elbow, arm. I know we're saying the same words over and over, but it's different sides of your body, and it helps us remember if we do the action and say the words at the same time. Arm, elbow, arm. Arm, elbow, other arm. Other arm, elbow, arm. That's combo 2. Last combo is combo 3, and we have a brand new loaded position called the download position. So you're in your stance just like the other combos, but flip your hand over so you can see your fingernails and put your stick on the ground. Touch the ground with your stick. So we're gonna say download, and then we're gonna keep our fingernails visible, and we're gonna strike to the knee just like this. Whack to the knee, and then back to the ground again. That's our broken strike. So download, knee, download. Because it's down and it's loaded. The next one's gonna be the fluid strike. Download, knee, and then you follow through to the left shoulder, the opposite shoulder. So we're gonna say opposite shoulder. That was our fluid strike. And then we start on the opposite shoulder, temple, download. That's not that hard to remember. You guys can do it. Let's start over. Download, first is the broken strike, knee, download. Next is the fluid strike. Download, knee, opposite shoulder. And last is opposite shoulder, temple, download. Just like that. I would suggest writing it down because if you say it, you don't even have to watch me do it anymore. You guys will be so good at it just by naming the parts of the body that you're either gonna aim at or touch with your stick. But let's do combo 3 one last time. Get into your stance, team. Get a tight grip on your stick. Put your hand and your stick on the floor, your hand flipped over so you can see your fingernails. You're gonna touch the floor with it. You're gonna come up, knee, download. The next, download, knee, opposite shoulder. Last, opposite shoulder, temple, download. You guys got this. Okay, team, I want you guys to practice these combos a lot. And I'm not sure, but I think that my definition of a lot might be a lot more than yours. So I want you guys to practice it so many times that if you hit a target super hard, or maybe someone hits the stick in your hand, that you will never drop it. You've got the tightest grip ever, and you've mastered all of those angles. If you guys have any questions, definitely just comment on this video. Ask me, and always feel free to send me a video of you doing these 3 combos so me and my team of incredible instructors and athletes can help you master these techniques like a stick fighting warrior. I'll see you guys in the next video. Guys, it's coming up soon. We're gonna be doing some incredible footwork skills because if you have great footwork, nobody can touch you. You'll be untouchable. And the last one is gonna be some really awesome drills to turn you into a stick fighting warrior. Let's go, guys. I'll see you next week. I'll see you in some outdoor classes and on Zoom.